When you are looking outside of yourself, take note of how often a person is blaming some entity outside of themselves for their current situation. You don't need to worry about changing the world outside of you. You do not need to be a product of your past or your memory. You are not doomed to repeat them. You do not need to be haunted by them. You do not need to give them any power over you unless it is somehow serving you to do so. Do not let any definition of who you are that has been placed upon you determine your value, your worth, and especially your power. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and I'm delighted to return to the Arcturian Council channelings from Daniel Scranton. I am continuing to read from his book, Ascension, The Shift to the Fifth Dimension, Volume 1, the Arcturian Council. Hopefully you got a chance to listen to my interview with Daniel. He has a very unconventional style of channeling, but when you read the words that come out of the channelings, they resonate. They're powerful. They're simple. I know that I've gotten some comments because these channelings are a little bit different than Quo, but they're still very pure. They're not talking about any politics. It's clear that there's no sort of negative polarity that's integrating itself into these channelings like some channelers do. It's very similar to Abraham with a little bit of cosmic mixed in. To me, it feels like that. It feels similar to that sort of channeling. And we get that because Daniel was a big, avid fan of Abraham and went to a bunch of events and actually sat in the chair and talked to Abraham multiple times. And like attracts like. He probably attracted those sort of beings into his channelings. And I've always liked channelers to discuss reality creation and the subconscious mind, because they come from a different perspective, and sometimes I need to hear that higher dimensional perspective in my advancement and evolution of consciousness. And today we're reading from the chapter, Your Spiritual Evolution, where they cover a variety of topics from what it means to be awakened, stepping into your power, breaking free from programming, your memories, your significant past life memories and integration, accessing fifth dimensional abilities, your past, present, and future, going with the flow, amongst other topics. The Arcturian Council, stepping in to your power. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. It is a beautiful sight to behold one of you having a moment of awakening. We see the awakening experiences occurring on your planet, and each time it happens, another light is shining more brightly. Many of you wonder what it takes to be considered awakened, and it is quite simple. You are awake when you acknowledge that you are a source energy being who is creating the reality that you are experiencing. Now, you're not always going to maintain that truth in your consciousness as you navigate through your lives. You're going to have moments where you feel quite separate from the person in the car that just cut you off. There are going to be times when you feel like a victim. There are going to be times when you judge others. But the beauty of your status as awakened beings is that you will always come back to the truth of who you really are. And when that really sinks into your consciousness, you will also be looking at others in the same way. You will see others as beings of light and love. You will see them as source energy, and you will accept that others will create experiences that are different from yours. You will accept their creations without judgment. You will come to know that whatever someone else is dabbling in, they will also be coming back to the truth of who they are, and they will somehow be better off for having had the experience. It is so important that you allow each other to have different experiences and to coexist harmoniously, not feeling threatened at all by what anyone else is doing, and certainly not by what anyone else is believing. When you truly embrace the truth that you are source energy, beings, you understand that everything you experience stems from something inside of you. And so the more you turn your attention back on yourselves for the truth of who you are and for the momentary vibration you are offering, the more awakened and enlightened you will become. This is your destiny. This is the destiny of every single human who is living on Earth at this time. Some of you will get there sooner than others, and when you do, you will reach out as source energy with a compassionate hand. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Stepping into your power. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have noticed that the human race is very focused upon what is going on outside of each of you. You pay attention to what is happening in your community, in your country, in the world, in your families, in the lives of celebrities. You focus on so much of what is happening around you that you forget to check in with what is going on within you. Part of the reason you have developed this tendency is because the number of times that you have heard about something bad happening, whether it was someone you knew or a stranger, it does not matter. When you hear about something bad happening and you are told that someone else it was to blame, then you keep yourself stuck in a victim-perpetrator dichotomy. And this is not where you want to be. When you are looking outside of yourself, take note of how often a person is blaming some entity outside of themselves for their current situation, and compare that to how often you are hearing about people creating their reality. Now, of course, you can narrow your scope. You can only follow people on social media who are awake and who are taking responsibility for their lives. But you are still part of a human collective consciousness that believes in victimhood, and you are still part of a collective consciousness that wants people to pay for what they have done. It is time for all of you who are awake to be the changemakers that you came here to be. One of the easiest and yet most effective ways that you can do this is by being responsible for your own lives. Take responsibility for your creations. Be aware of what you are feeling, what you're vibrating, and whether you're claiming to be a victim. You don't need to worry about changing the world outside of you. You don't need to change who is in charge. The police, the military, and the government are not in charge. Really, you are. And the more of you who take ownership of that fact, the less you need to look outside of yourselves for fear that someone in a position of authority or power is going to take something away from you or persecute you. Now is the time to step into your power, and it is much easier than you think. You take back your power when you not only take note of your vibration, but you also take the time to shift it to a higher frequency. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Breaking free from programming. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You are breaking free from the chains that you placed upon yourselves before incarnating in this lifetime. You had to have these chains in place until you were ready to bring yourselves to the fifth dimensional frequency range. You knew that there were certain experiences that you had to have this lifetime to set yourselves up for the full integration of all aspects of who you are and who you have been. And now that you have lived those experiences, you have much more freedom than you have ever had in any earthly lifetime. The chains are no longer there, but the programming still is. Part of why you knew that you'd be able to limit yourselves in the ways that you have has been due to the programming that was in place before you got here, and all the new ways that have been derived to attempt to keep the vast majority of you from knowing your power. The easiest way for you to release yourselves from the programming is to turn off your TVs, your computers, your phones, and all of your devices. Get out into nature and feel for the truth of the high-frequency energies that have been competing with that programming for quite some time. Just as you are free from those chains, you have made yourselves available to those energies, and they have made themselves available to you. But the lower frequency vibrations of the social programming have been the interface. It has been keeping you divided. It has been telling you that you have reason to be afraid. It is you striving for a level of success that has nothing to do with becoming more of who you are. That is why it is so important for you to tune out the programming and tune in to the energies that are available to you in the atmosphere, the energies that are coming up from Mother Earth. and the energies that are projected from your sun. You have access to so much more than you allow yourselves to receive, and it's time for you to grant yourselves that full access in the here and now. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Your memories. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. If you can remember something that has occurred in your life, then that memory is impacting your now moment in some way. When memories come up from this lifetime, you have many options available to you. None of these options is better than any of the others. You can decide in the moment that the memory is irrelevant and let it go. You can smile and remember the moment fondly, or as fondly as you can, and then move on. You can look at the memory from a new and different perspective, one that serves you much more in the present moment. You can see the memory as an experience and therefore as something that has served you very well. You do not need to be a product of your past or your memories. You are not doomed to repeat them. You do not need to be haunted by them. You do not need to give them any power over you unless it is somehow serving you to do so. We invite you to have a new and different relationship with your past, with your memories. We ultimately want for you to experience the now moment that you are living fully and completely. But until that time, you are going to have memories come your way. And we just want you to know that you have options. You have choices for how you handle anything and everything that comes your way, including something as seemingly fixed as your past. Of course, nothing is fixed. You can change your past, you can change your experience of your present, and you can change the future that you are moving towards. Ultimately, you are always only changing yourself. You're changing your perspective, and as you do so, you grow, you become more of who you are, and you have more compassion and understanding, more acceptance and unconditional love to give your fellow humans. Therefore, we suggest you use these opportunities as the wonderful moments in time that they are. We suggest that you see all memories as opportunities, and that you take full advantage of them in the moment, create new experiences. That is why you are here. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. You are significant. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You have the power within you to give yourself that which you desire. It is quite simple, really. This power that within each and every one of you gets activated when you give up the sense of insignificance that has been placed upon you by others. You all are source energy beings, but that is not what you emphasize about yourselves. You tend to emphasize where you went to school, what you do for a living, where you live now, and other assorted details about yourselves. These details have nothing to do with who you really are, but society emphasizes them. And once you buy into that idea, then you have the mindset and the beliefs that tell you that only certain people get to do certain things. Only certain people get to have certain things. Only certain people get to be in beautiful romantic relationships. Now, the way around this programming that you've taken on is not through deconstructing. It's not through changing society or even your beliefs that you picked up from society. The way that you grant yourselves the lives that you want to be living is through the emphasis on your true nature as a source energy being. You are significant. Even though there are 7 billion plus of you on planet Earth alone, you are still significant. You are still unique expressions of that which is source, infinite, eternal, unconditional love. Therefore, do not let any definition of who you are that has been placed upon you determine your value, your worth, and especially your power. You are very powerful beings. We suggest that you spend some of your time every day consciously breathing while reminding yourselves of who you really are and feeling it in every cell of your body. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Past life memories and integration. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. It is a perfect time for you all to be considering what it is that you would like to know about yourselves. As you grow closer and closer to the point where you will simply be your higher self, you are accessing more and more of the memories of who you have been in previous lifetimes. But you've been far too many beings in far too many time periods and dimensions and star systems to remember all of them. That is why we are suggesting that you decide for yourselves which aspects you want to integrate now, which memories you want to bring to the surface of your consciousness, and which abilities you want to tap into. The lifetimes where you have developed psychic, channeling, and healing and other abilities are ones that are particularly interesting, and they can also give you some new tools to play with as you access them. Now, of course, you're opening the floodgates a bit here, and you are going to access memories that are not so pleasant, but that's a part of the integration process, and you have to take the bad with the good to become the whole you again. Just know that when you are accessing something about your previous lifetimes that you find unpleasant or downright disturbing, you are not that person now. You have evolved from that point in your history, and you have decided to be the beautiful being of love and light that you are right now. It is going to make it easier for you to accept the warmongers, the dictators, and the other beings who are playing in the dark when you recognize that you have been there as well, and that is how remembering serves you. We invite you to ask for these memories as you are drifting off to sleep, or simply close your eyes and open your third eye and see what you see. See which version of yourself is ready for integration, and know that your feelings are the indication that it is real and not imaginary. That it was something that you lived and something that you are integrating. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Accessing fifth dimensional abilities. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You have awakened within you the abilities that are associated with the fifth dimension, but you do not know how to access them yet. It is like buying a new technological gadget that you've never seen before and not having any instructions available to you. So as you feel for the abilities within you, please recognize that your acknowledgement of them is the first step in gaining full access. You won't be able to access these abilities by lamenting the fact that you haven't accessed them yet. That is counterproductive. So what you want to do is focus. You want to focus on how these fifth dimensional abilities feel as you contemplate them. We're talking about telekinesis, telepathy, and teleportation specifically. There are others as well that you will become aware of as you continue on in your journeys. Feel for the power that is within you. Feel for it vibrationally. Do not wait until you have full access to these abilities before you feel how powerful you are. Many of you have already taken sneak peeks at these abilities. You know that at times you access them, if only for an instant. You also know that you are becoming your higher selves. And with that means greater access to so much more than these abilities. We recommend that you don't get fixated on them or on any one of them. Instead, we want you to continue to feel for your power and feel for the consciousness and the vibration of your higher self. Your higher self has the instruction manual. When you act, speak, and think as your higher self would, you bring yourself into harmony with that which you most desire. And in so doing, you help others gain access to their higher self and to their fifth dimensional abilities. You're about to have a lot more fun than you've been having. We are the Arcturian Council. We have enjoyed connecting with you. Your past, present, and future. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You sometimes find yourselves looking at your past, and in the process of looking at your past, you remember things, but you remember those things from your present moment perspective. From your present moment perspective, you might feel much differently about your past than you did while you were living it. And that has everything to do with the overall vibration that you were holding back then versus your overall vibration in the present moment. This can cause you to feel guilt, shame, regret, sadness, and anger around situations, events, and circumstances that you didn't feel any negative emotion around at the time. It is important for you not to judge who you are now or who you have been. Therefore, if you're going to look back at yourself in the past, we suggest that you do so from a place of compassion. We suggest that you look at anything from your past through the eyes of unconditional love. There's nothing that has ever happened in your life experience that you need to now fix or make better in any way. This is one of the reasons why you're often told to be present. The present moment version of yourself is really the only one that matters. And if you have people in your life who continually try to get you to go back in time with them to relive some aspect of your past, you can help that person or those people to be more present by holding your consciousness in your present, no matter how hard they try to get you to go to the past with them. Your lives are yours to define. Your lives are yours to live, and your lives are yours to continue to create. So we recommend that you don't let anything from your past determine who you are deciding to be in the moment and what you are allowing yourself to create. Creating the future that you want means being present in the moment that you want to be in. Allowing your past to control any aspect of you or your life is also a choice, and it's a choice that doesn't serve you. Be present. Be who you want to be and let go of everything else. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Going with the flow. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. It is all about the way that you look at something. This is what determines your experience of it. Therefore, when something is appearing to be detrimental to your experience, to the enjoyment of your life, you really do want to change the way that you're looking at it. It is the most important factor in whether you're enjoying your life right now. You have that free will that goes beyond what you do or do not do with your lives. Your free will is also about deciding how much you are going to enjoy your lives versus whether you are deciding to just suffer through them. Now, it may not be easy to change the way you look at a circumstance in your life, but it is the challenges in life that are making it interesting. If everything were easy, life would be boring. So take the challenges to look for that silver lining. Look for it with the knowing that it is actually there. This is not about pretending that you are enjoying something. This is not smiling through a feeling of sadness we are talking about. We're talking about making a gradual shift in the same way your ascension has been a gradual shift. Once you let a simple shift in your perception in, you will open the floodgates. There's a great relief in letting go of attachments. If you were attached to going to the beach, then the rain would be much harder for you to accept. But if you can adapt in the moment and use the rain as an opportunity to explore something else, something you wouldn't have normally considered, that's going with the flow, that's how you allow energy to move through you, and that's the life we want for all of you. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Measuring your spiritual growth. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You are expecting to feel something much different in order for you to accept that you are changing, raising your vibration, and raising the level of your consciousness. But you cannot always measure these things. You cannot always detect changes, so we are here to help. We want to help you measure the progress that you've made as individuals by getting you to look at some very important facts about yourself. Are you more empathetic than you were 10 years ago? Do you care more about the earth and her environment more now than you did 15 years ago? Do you feel more compassion for others now than you have before? Do you have a better relationship with animals than you have had at any other point in your life? Noticing things about yourself, small things. This is the way to measure your progress. You don't need to hear a little voice inside your head and know that it is coming from an ascended master to know that you are progressing spiritually. Instead, notice how differently you react when a family member of yours says something derogatory in your direction. Notice how much you care about people that you've never met before. Notice how interested you are in seeing equality, world peace, the end of violence, discrimination, poverty, and famine. You don't have to be the answer to all of these things to know that you have grown as a human being. We just ask you to notice what your intentions are for the rest of humanity. We ask that you give yourselves more credit and be less critical. You don't have to do anything to save this world or her inhabitants, just be yourself. That is enough, and when you acknowledge yourself, that brings us a tremendous amount of joy. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Your ego and your higher self. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You are awakening at a pace that is comfortable for your consciousness. It is also a pace that is comfortable for your ego. You often hear people talking about the death of the ego, or you hear about their attempts at suppressing their ego. But you are experiencing your ascension from the perspective of your ego. It is the only way for you to move from knowing yourselves as your egos to knowing yourselves as your higher selves. It is not to be diminished in some way. This perspective of the ego, you are simply expanding it to include more aspects of who you are from other lifetimes and parallel universes. You are reassembling the fragments of the ego so that your ego can comfortably become your higher self, which of course has always been there within you, just waiting for you to come to it and to don its perspective. You don't need to see this as a competition between the ego and the higher self, and you don't need to see it as an either-or proposition. You are awakening to the knowing that you can merge your egoic perspective into that of your higher self's perspective. You can become your higher self without defeating or killing any other part of yourself. In fact, all parts of yourself are necessary in order to be the whole you that you are as your higher self. So this journey needs to be comfortable for that egoic perspective. You don't want to take on too much all at once. You don't want to shatter your old way of doing things all at once. You want to bring yourself, all parts of yourself, along slowly, gingerly, with tenderness and care. This is the way you're going to ascend. You're going to upload your ego into your higher self, and when you do, you're going to know the higher self's perspective, and you're going to be fifth dimensional beings. And so we ask you to please make the journey as pleasant as you possibly can on this very important, very significant aspect of who you are. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Courage, power, and mastery. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have witnessed acts of courage on the part of individual humans that have given us cause to believe that anything that any one of you is facing right now has not a single chance of getting the better of you. You, however, must pay attention to where you are putting your power in any situation. When you put the power in your own hands, you summon the strength and the courage necessary to face any circumstance that you find in your lives. And you give the power to the circumstance or a person or a government. Then you find yourself shrinking in the face of something that you have created. Humans have been doing this since you began to have your consciousness there on planet Earth. You've created insurmountable odds, vicious villains, and enormous natural disasters so that you would have an opportunity to face something that appeared to be bigger than you, that appeared to be outside of you. You've given yourselves many opportunities to experience what it is like to be courageous. You need not, however, create these circumstances in order to demonstrate to yourselves how powerful you are. Instead of creating obstacles for you to overcome, you can begin to create new experiences, new realities, new worlds that will give you an opportunity to experience yourselves as masters. Masters do not need to prove themselves that they are powerful or courageous. Living as a master means that you live in harmony with your environment. You coexist peacefully with one another, and you create from out of nothing the most glorious of circumstances. So now that you know how powerful you are, now that you have tested yourselves over and over, you can let go of that old paradigm, and you can let in the experience of mastery on an individual and a collective scale. We know that you are ready. Do you? We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. You are making progress. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are beyond satisfied and pleased with the progress you are making when it comes to settling disputes in your personal lives. We see the efforts that you all make to come to agreements with each other to bring peace to situations where there has been turmoil and even bad blood. We are recognizing the movement forward that you are making as a collective in the settling of the smallest of disputes. Whenever one of you decides to take the high road to apologize, to forgive, to give someone else the benefit of the doubt, you are making enormous headway and you are bringing yourselves closer to the full ascension of your consciousness. The coming together of individuals with different perspectives is one of the most beautiful things that we witness on your world, and we witness it happening every single day. We want you to know how powerful the effects are of your solving the minor issues that come up between you. The effects are enormous because of the ripple effect. The energy that gets sent out across the universe is one of unity. Bringing yourselves back together, you create the source energy experience. The source energy experience is all beings coexisting harmoniously in the same one being. No matter how different the perspectives might be, they are peacefully coexisting within Source. This does not mean that Source is schizophrenic. What it simply means is that Source energy understands perspective, understands the power of difference and variety, and seeing all of that sync up on one planet is something that brings you closer and closer to having heaven on earth. You still have a long ways to go, but you are making progress every day. When you think about very large disputes and how they are playing out on your world, recognize that those are extrapolations of the experiences that you are having with each other in your relationships, in your friendships, with your neighbors, with your coworkers, with authority figures. And all of these disputes can be settled when you give your ego a break and you let yourself have the experience of knowing that everyone and everything is a part of you. Therefore, when you are at battle with another, you are only battling yourself. When you recognize this, it is very easy for you to lay down your arms and coexist peacefully. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Your radiance is brilliant. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. You all exhibit a radiance that emanates from the core of your beingness. Your radiance is not only seen, it is felt. Those who are attuned to seeing and feeling that radiance know you by it. We certainly do as well. There is an energy transmission that comes off of each of you that will help in the rediscovery of the deeper connections that you have with each other. You are knowing yourselves in this lifetime as friends, lovers, co-workers, relatives, and even just acquaintances, but the bigger picture of your connections to each other is that something that will become clear to you as you're able to perceive the radiance. When you are able to feel and understand the transmission of energy that moves between you, it will become clearer to you who you really are to each other. You will find that the knowing of someone else takes on new meaning as you let their radiance in. As you merge with another, you are not just getting to know who they've been in this one lifetime. You're actually integrating with them. You can integrate parts of yourself by interacting with another in the same way that you integrate aspects of yourself by listening to us or reading our words. These integrations occur because you are ready to reassemble. And on the human level, there is just as much reassembling going on as on the galactic scale. When you are receiving another's radiance, you are perceiving it with your own. Therefore, you connect with more of the light of who you are when you connect with the light of someone else. When you let that light in, you both shine brighter. When you are true to yourself and you allow another to be true to themselves, that is when you know that there is synergy occurring. And that is when the light shines even brighter within each of you. And as a result of the two of you coming together, that sort of brilliance is something we love to witness. And we see more of it all the time. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. It is so exciting to imagine this vast cosmic web of consciousness with interweavings to form this grand design of existence where you get beings like the Arcturian Council, tugging at these threads, sending ripples of wisdom across the universe to the earth. It's so amazing to be an interface and read these words, knowing that they're coming from this higher source. This message that I've read today is a symphony of different insights. The Arcturian Council paints a picture of awakening that's both breathtaking in its scope and touchingly intimate in its application. They speak of humans as luminous beings of source energy, creators of their own reality, temporarily forgetful of their true nature. Awakening, they say, isn't a permanent state of enlightenment, but rather a dance of remembering and forgetting, each recollection bringing us closer to our true cosmic identity. In their cosmic perspective, our daily lives become a stage for profound transformation. The Council urges us to see beyond the mundane, to recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. That squabble with a neighbor, it's not just an annoyance, but an opportunity for growth, a chance to practice unity and forgiveness, sending ripples of harmony across the universe. That moment of déjà vu, perhaps it's a whisper from a past life, inviting integration and expanded understanding. The Arcturians speak of humanity breaking free from self-imposed chains and societal programming. They describe a process akin to a caterpillar emerging from its chrysalis, shedding limitations to reveal the butterfly of our higher selves. Yet they caution against the siren call of technology, urging us instead to reconnect with the pulse of nature, to feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth and the warmth of the sun as conduits for higher energies. In a particularly intriguing twist, the Council reframes our understanding of the ego. Rather than an enemy to be vanquished, they present it as a necessary companion on our journey to be gently merged with our higher self. It's a perspective that invites compassion for all aspects of our being. The Arcturians tantalize us with glimpses of our latent abilities, like telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation. These aren't presented as far-off miracles, but as dormant capabilities awaiting our recognition. The key, they say, lies not in striving, but in feeling, in tuning into the vibrational essence of these abilities. Perhaps most captivating is their description of human radiance. They speak of each person emanating a unique energetic signature, a cosmic fingerprint of light. And as we learn to perceive and interact with this radiance, they suggest we unlock a deeper connection with others, recognizing soul-deep bonds that transcend our current earthly roles. The Council's message is a call to cosmic citizenship, inviting us to see ourselves as both infinitesimally small within the vast universe and infinitely powerful as conduits of source energy. They challenge us to step into our power, not through grand gestures, but through quiet revolutions of daily choices, choosing forgiveness over resentment, unity over division, love over fear. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. I would love it if you checked out my art. I have so much there, thousands of original paintings available with unique sigils and energies attached that I would love to send to you. You can find it at www.newearth.art. And as always, welcome to the Reality Revolution.